Hi everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I just wanted to share with you, it's really some extra insights into Saturn in Pisces. I've been on a bit of a detective hunt of late, which I felt was very exciting. So that's what I'd like to share with you today. I do have quite a long video on Saturn in Pisces. I'll post that below in case you missed that, because Saturn moved into Pisces on the 8th of March this year and will stay there until February 2026. So it's a very important 3-year transit. And anyway, in that video, I talked about a lot of possible themes, possible manifestations of how that would work. And in that video, I was also talking about, as one of the themes, because Saturn is linked in myth to Kronos, Lord of Time, so hence chronology, very much linear time, that our 3D reality, our sense of linear time would start to dissolve, that our reality would become more malleable. But there was another step that sort of emerged from that, and that's what I want to share with you now, because I think it's really positive and really exciting. Must have been a couple of months ago, I connected to another astrologer, wonderful astrologer, Sue Martin, who has weaved together Richard Rudd's Gene Keys that you might be familiar with, great tome of brilliant kind of ancient and modern wisdom with astrology. And she said where Pluto is in the heavens right now, in these very early degrees of Aquarius, in the Gene Keys, this position represents the 60th Siddhi, Siddhi, and this is an Indian word for a very evolved being, an evolved yogi who has magical powers. And I'm quoting Richard Rudd here from the Gene Keys, and in this he said that position, 60th Siddhi, represents a frame shift mutation. And think about the things I've been talking about with a kind of evolution to a new human, really, in the most natural, organic way. How we're going to develop new skills and abilities, or remember skills and abilities that we had way back. That ancient species of animals and plants would reappear, and new species. It's this whole DNA shift, really, organic shift into a higher state of being. So Richard Rudd talked about this position being a frame shift mutation at this time. He said the 60th Siddhi breaks all laws of reality, beginning with laws of time and gravity. And in that Saturn in Pisces video that I've already filmed, I talk quite a lot in there about Saturn potentially dissolving linear time, dissolving 3D reality. So this is going to give us quite a strange sense of reality, because it's been so fixed in our lifetime, so linear, so reliable. But things are going to start to morph a lot more. Time slippage, reality slippage. Suddenly we may be in a different place or at a different time, and we've lost time, or we're further ahead in time, or whatever. It's going to, and this is going to be particularly, I think, over the next 3 years. This process is going to be operating with Saturn in Pisces until we learn to adapt. What is interesting, and if we think of Saturn, the other associations of Saturn, it's very weighty. It's to do with density. It's to do with metals like lead that are heavy. It's to do with gravity. And what was extremely interesting, following this video, there's a very gifted seer called Amanda Lawrence, spelt Lorence. She has been taken out for some months with a big accident. She's only just beginning to re-emerge. So she said she's allowed me to use her name, but she said please don't message her because she is just too overwhelming. She's still recovering, but she is very gifted in her dreams and her insights. And she sent me a voicemail. Now, Amanda readily says she knows absolutely nothing about astrology, but she sent me a voicemail. And in this, she said, gravity is dissolving. Saturn in Pisces, gravity is dissolving. We have the illusion of consciousness being inside our heads, this feeling of separation, but there's a veil. Saturn, there's a blocking, but there's a veil. What holds the veil in place is gravity, she said. We are now on a timeline where expanded consciousness is much more available to us. And consciousness is outside the body, not inside, as we felt, in this state of separation. And this became immensely exciting because of my understanding astrologically of Saturn in Pisces. Gravity is dissolving. She also said that on March 22nd, just past 2023, a whole new layer of light had become available to us. This is kind of an upgrade in our evolution. Amanda has been able to experience this expanded consciousness, and I believe this is what I've been calling the expanded consciousness of love. She's been able to step outside the veil, the limitation in her internal consciousness, if you like, into this expanded consciousness for about 4 hours. And she said it was just amazing. So more and more of us, depending on where we are on timelines, on frequency, on consciousness, are going to be able to access that. Now, separately, across the Atlantic, there's a wonderful man called Jeffrey Hoppe, Hoppe. And for many years with his wife, Linda, he has run something called the Crimson Circle. And he has quite a lot of videos on YouTube. He channels Adamus Saint-Germain. And back in last September 2022, he started, or Saint-Germain started to talk about that on March 22nd, when Amanda was seeing this whole new layer of light becoming available for us, this sense of expanded consciousness, Saint-Germain, through Jeffrey, was predicting that March 22nd, 2023 was what he called Heaven's Cross. And again, you can find videos on YouTube. Heaven's Cross. And this is a gateway or a portal to this expanded consciousness that Amanda's talking about, and they don't know each other, don't know each other's work. And Saint-Germain, through Jeffrey, said this is the gateway to human divinity and our multidimensionality that has now become available to us. And he said it's only become available because we as humanity have raised our consciousness high enough to access that gateway, that Heaven's Cross. And this was, again, immensely exciting because he was also talking about the dissolution of gravity. Then separate to that, friend of mine, Magenta Pixie, I love her channeling, and in her Equinox video, she's been channeling for many years the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. And in her Aries Equinox video, and I'll put the link for that below, one of the things the 9 said was that the 21st of March 2023, and that was the Aries new moon, was day 0 of New Earth. So the 22nd of March would be day 1 of New Earth, corresponding to what Amanda is seeing and what Jeffrey Hoppe channeling Saint-Germain is seeing. The 9 also said by 2026, New Earth will be everywhere across the world. Now, again, with my astrological lens, for those of us on that particular timeline, on the spiritual path, if you like, by February 2026, Saturn will be leaving Pisces and will have done its job in dissolving the gravity that holds this veil of consciousness in place, this block that we've had from this expanded consciousness of love, this sense of greater sense of divinity, a greater sense of multidimensionality. So, as I say, I've been on a bit of a detective hunt because none of these people know anything about astrology. But what they're saying is not only this, the same as each other, but it's the same as the astrology. So this is hugely exciting. Now, it depends on our soul contracts. As I say, it depends on our frequency, our consciousness, of whether we are yet able to access that expanded consciousness of love in a greater way, go through that Heaven's Cross portal. But more and more of us, for sure, are going to be able to do that as Saturn progresses through Pisces over the next 3 years. And so we are in this energy right now. We are in this crucible of change. And we are going to become stepping stones of light, because it's almost like the, the 100th monkey effect, because as more and more of us can access that heaven's gate, that incredible gateway to greater divinity and multidimensionality, it enables more and more people. It's like the chap who ran the 4-minute mile, and then it became easier for other people to do the same. And so we are going to be moving into a very unusual and very strange energy. I mean, many people are talking about we're between worlds, or, they're having strange sensations out of body, or in their dreams, they don't quite know where they are, or, this morphing, this mutability, which is going to become stronger in our reality. So for more, and there's no judgment on any of this, that, we run our own race, that nobody's getting there faster than we are. We run our own race, depending on where we are at in our consciousness. But just, if for many people who are also getting shocks and sudden revelations about truths that they hadn't been aware of before, plus this kind of morphing of time and reality, this is going to be very, very destabilizing. So be there with compassion, Pisces. But for us on this spiritual path, welcome it in as this flowing into a higher organic state of being, because that's what we're doing. So welcome in, as I've been saying for many months now, welcome in this expanded consciousness of love, because this is what all of this is about. And more than ever, we have an invisible future. I mean, the future in a way is always invisible because we create it from our collective consciousness. But in the past, through our various lifetimes, it's been very predictable. We may be in the same house for decades. We may be in the same job for decades. And linear clock time is very reliable. Well, that's going to be undermined. That's dissolving more and more. And it's a wonderful thing as we upstep, as we upgrade. So welcome it with excitement, welcome it with open arms, because it's very important we do that to accelerate the arrival of New Earth for more of us. And every time we get together across the world, even if we don't speak, we don't know each other, if we connect on the same frequency of love, we are building this hologram, we're building this energetic wave of the expanded consciousness of love. The more we do that, the faster it arrives. And just know that because of the turbulence of energy, because of all that's happening with photonic light, with the solar flares, the electromagnetics of the Earth are becoming much less stable. Uranus in Taurus, and all of the shifts in the Schumann resonance, the peaks in strength and amplitude, the extreme earth events, earthquakes, volcanoes, the exponential number of solar flares that we're having, all of that is electromagnetic, and we are electromagnetic beings. And so our very environment, our Earth itself, is less stable than we've ever known it, because the upgrade is so rapid. So be aware of this, welcome it, welcome this dissolution of time, 3D reality and gravity, because it is getting us to a much more beautiful place of New Earth. I'm going to be talking to Magenta again next week, and I'm really looking forward to that, about the eclipses coming up. And remember, the brighter we shine our light, the faster the old crumbles, the old that is no longer operating for our highest good. Don't put any energy into that. Know that the systems are collapsing because of this turbulence and energy, because this very high frequency energy, there's no foundation anymore for that low frequency energy and all that comes from that. If it's not connected to love, it's going to crumble, and it is crumbling. The old world, the old systems, the things that we thought were foundational are crumbling. So the brighter we shine our light, the more we infect the collective with love, the faster this is going to happen. So I hope that's helped. I hope you get excited about my insights and connections with these three people. It really was thrilling, actually, big aha moments, and I'm sure there will be many, many more of them as we go through these months and years and progress towards new Earth becoming ever more apparent. God bless. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.